Some city councillors here at home are trying to help businesses impacted by the LRT construction. Let's listen in.
Open invitation. And according to the government, there's going to be plenty more time for the minister to join us. Minister Mulrooney, come and listen to these businesses. They're not going to survive long enough unless the Ontario government supports them. And on that end, I want to thank each one of you, because the way we get changes is when we all come together. Every one of us needs to support these businesses, and those of you who are here today are showing it where you're putting your mouth where your mouth is. So thank you so much, and I want to hand it over to my friend Mike Cole.
Thanks, Josh. As they say in Italian, mange, eat. Look at the wonderful food here at Jerusalem Restaurant. I want to thank the family that owns the Jerusalem Restaurant, and all of the neighbors that came here today, the other shopkeepers, the BIA representatives. And it's all about small business people. These are people that have put their life savings into these businesses where the families work. Sometimes, they work 7 days a week, life savings. But because of this construction hell, we've lost over 100, up to 140 businesses from Black Creek to Yonge Street. 140 closed. Now, we're saying we can't expect them to last another 3 years. They've lasted somehow the 9 years. Now another 3, impossible, unless they get some help. Never before has the provincial government had a compensation program for small business it's never been done. So this is a hard thing to do. And the city has the ability to help, but it would not be enough. We need the partnership with the province to put money on the table to keep business alive. Without money, we're just talking the talk. Here on Eglinton, we want the province to be a partner in keeping business alive. And it's not a handout. It's basically giving these businesses some financial support so they can keep working, keep employed. There's hundreds of people that work in these small businesses. Once you close that door, we lose all those jobs too. And then we lose community assets. Like, these are not just restaurants, they're not just stores. They're places where our families go, where we meet our friends, where we have something to eat, we buy something. So it's more than a shop. It's it's like a small community. This Jerusalem Restaurant's been here for decades. Families have been coming here for 3-4 generations. And then we're going to continue to do that all the way west. We're going to go for our walk. So sure, this is a hard time for Eglinton, but we are fighting now to say enough, stop and compensate. But as we do that fight for compensation, I think with Josh's energy and your support, I think we've got a great chance of getting compensation. So we have to be all together in this and be loud and be strategic. We've got an opportunity because we've got a motion of council where the mayor is going to meet with the minister and asking for compensation. The council agreed unanimously to do it. So the mayor's going up to Queen's Park to make this proposal. And if we stay together, then we can join with the city's efforts to try and help people survive another 3 years. So let's fight together, but at the same time, let's eat together. Because we can't all of a sudden say, well, we're just, they're doom and gloom about construction hell. That's true. But that's why we're here today. Josh and I says we just can't be always fighting. We're also saying, let's appreciate Eglinton a bit. Let's appreciate small business. And that's why we're here today. And there's no free lunch here. We're saying, you're all paying for your lunch. Even Josh and I are paying for our lunches. Anyways, we're trying to put our money into small business on Eglinton. There's so many great spots like Jerusalem. And we're asking people out there who are saying, oh, poor Eglinton. No, listen, come and shop. Don't just sit there and tweet. Come up here and eat. That's what we're saying.
I just want to add I want to add one thing for those of you who may go and ask the minister, what have you done already? When Mike and I and council requested that the provincial government support compensation for these businesses, the government responded by saying, we're going to ask Metrolinx, a provincial agency that they fund, to take some sort of action. Metrolinx, a provincial agency that the province funds, with only the money that the province gives them, turned around and said, we don't have a pool of money because the province doesn't give us that. And then the province is just like, well, you know, pass the buck. That's not good enough. If the government wants to do it directly, they can do it. If they want to fund Metrolinx to do it, they can do it. But if you ask the province what are they doing, no more finger pointing, no more it's somebody else's problem. We're saying we want to work in partnership with them. We want their hand to come back in return and to support these businesses' survival. So thank you very much, everybody. And if any of you have any questions with the media, we're happy to answer you as well.
Yeah, and I just want to add one thing is this project is a $10 billion project, okay? $10 billion. $10 billion. And how is it not possible that part of that $10 billion can't be given to support small business? It's just a small part of it, a small part of it.
Are there any questions? Yes. May I just I just want to start with the media, just because they may have to go, and then we'll get into a conversation. Yeah, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So I reached out to Caroline Mulroney's office, the transport minister, about coming here today. Didn't hear back yet. What response have you received, if any, about having her here?
We formally invited her last week. We wrote her a letter that was positive, that was gracious, that was all about partnership and really active listening to the businesses along Eglinton. We have received zero response from her, and I can only say that it's an open invitation. Any day that Minister Mulroney wants to join us and the business owners and residents for a walk along Eglinton to listen to the people that they say they represent, then we will be there to go for that walk and to work with her. But nothing yet.
With Councillor Cole, 3-point plan. 1, you're calling on the provincial government, Metrolinx, and their contractors, 1, to provide financial compensation to small businesses in the area, 2, to get rid of construction debris, and 3, considering opening parts of the line as soon as possible so residents do not have to wait until 2 years to ride the line. An update on that request, please.
Yeah, I just want to say it's going to be more than 2 years. They said 2 years. Don't believe it. Okay, it is going to be at least 3. Okay, but with the problems they have at Yonge and Eglinton, we're hearing it's at least 3 more years. So that's why it's urgent that we get help from the province. It's not just another, because this is the 3rd delay. So we need that. And what we're saying is we're having transport experts respond to our request on behalf of the residents, say, listen, why not operate the line from Eglinton West Station here at the Allen to Black Creek. In the meantime, finish that off, because you have the yard already there. You have the Eglinton West terminus there. At least operate that section and finish that off so we can clean up that part of Eglinton and then continue with the rest. So we're asking them to look at that feasibility.
3-point plan. I know there was a motion at council that was successful.
Zero. Silence from the province. All they say, they passed the buck to Metrolinx, which is just a part of the province. So the Metrolinx doesn't control the money. It's the Ministry of Transportation, the Ministry of Finance that controls the money. The city will put up its money, but we need the province to put up some of its billions here, because the province, this is the province's project, and we want to work with them. We're not blaming them, saying this is a time for partnership.
Christina, when Mike and I came to council and the mayor and asked them for their support, they responded positively and unanimously in support of our motion. The mayor is going to be taking that leadership and going to the province on our behalf, and we're very grateful for that. But the city is also being held hostage with this project. All the streetscape improvements, all the improvements that we want to do to Eglinton, various projects even on streets adjacent to Eglinton are all being held in limbo. The city can't put the street and the community back together until the project is done. There are various works projects throughout Eglinton and streets adjacent to it that are paused right now, literally at a standstill. Residents are waiting for their streets to be repaved, various projects that can't happen until this project moves ahead. And we just keep hearing delay, delay, delay. And now the government just wants to sort of go over our heads as they often do. We want them to work in partnership with the city rather than us just finding out through announcements that they're going to be delaying and really messing up the city's life and most directly the life of the businesses.
Josh, what about the city fund, the city compensation fund? Why is that not working? There's businesses along Eglinton that have applied and have been turned down.
So the city's fund, the city's support doesn't go anywhere far enough for businesses that are struggling. The biggest difference with this project, though, I would submit, is that because it's a provincial project, because the city doesn't actually control the details of the project, the construction of the project, the design of the project, the timelines of the project, the province needs to pull their weight here and contribute significantly to the project's success. Part of the project's success that Mike and I believe is critical to it is the success of the businesses and the communities. So, I think that, when it comes to many city works projects, there should not only be financial compensation, I think that there should be relief. There should be waiving of permit fees for patios and various things that they can't use during city works projects. But when there's a provincial project, yes, the province just can't duck and hide behind Metrolinx that they don't fund to even support the businesses. They've got to step to the forefront. At the very least, join us for falafel. And they haven't done that.
Yeah, we just need their partnership, really, because, again, the city will do its part. But the scope of this is 19 kilometers. You've got stores, even Scarborough Nissan out there in Scarborough is having trouble attracting people in Scarborough. So it's much bigger than the city can handle with its existing program. So we're asking the city to beef up its help, but the province has to step up. They've got the billions, they've got the tax base, and plus they're going to spend another $30 billion extending other subways. So before you spend another $30 billion extending subways to Ontario Place and everywhere else, put some money back in here to keep business alive.
Anyone else? Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to go in on that. The worst thing
Wait. Let the media
I'm
finish.
right now. I've been waiting my whole life, right?